Many of you guys already know me. Some of you guys don't. I'm Dylan Moulton. I'm the licensing manager for the Northeast here. And what we do is we actually split it so that I'm the licensing manager from Masters Large and Up. And Dan Vallon here, put your hand up. For those of you who don't know him, he's the person who works from Masters Medium down. Springer works in a way so that you only have one point of contact. So if it's a journal, if it's an IP change. I actually had someone from Mount Sinai today ask me for copyright clearance. I was like, I don't know, but we found the person, so we can do it that way. So it's one point of contact. If you got grumblings, if you need news, if you want pricing, if you want anything, we're the people to go to. It's one, it's done. All right. Here's the first slide. Guys, thank you so much today. Like, seriously, can we just thank you very much. All right. First and foremost, to Mark Hiller. Even though he doesn't eat fish, we do appreciate you coming with us. No, that's exactly what we're doing. This is what our marketing budget's going towards. Okay, what we learned from him today among a lot was that you prepare well, you know your user. Once you have that data, you act boldly. Whether it's yes or no, you make the decision instead of sitting on it, and you use all the tools available to him. In this case, it was consortium. It's the data. I thought that was fascinating, seeing the data coming in that they're using and how they were using it, and then knowing when the time is right. And that sometimes the time isn't right now, but then knowing sometimes it is, and to act boldly when it does happen, and that's not every single time. The next we had Steve and Deborah talking, and we heard, this is terrible. All right, next we heard, talking about Ebook Happiness. They unfortunately had to leave early today, so just real recap on that is, I thought that was fascinating to hear about the humanities. I'd internalized it from hearing from so many libraries over time, our humanities do not want e-books. So you just say, oh, I guess it's true because I have no data otherwise, we just hear it and so on. And the difference was 8 to 10%. And that's including the people who will still use it if it's only available. So I thought that was one of the really fascinating takeaways, and it was all about immediacy, which we also had in the breakout sessions after lunch. The panel, we had Michael and Keith. We had someone who's working essentially in a consortium that's in flux right now and having to have stakeholders all get invested in it. And it's all of that's in flux to see what's happening. For the record, we will be launching next year, Springer Joan of Arc. It will be available. All right. It will be a one-time cost, but if you would like the new Joan of Arc, we will have it next year. All right. You'll have pricing shortly. Let me know what that fund is worth. All right. Actually, Springer Joan of Arc is in French, so that way you can have that as well. Okay, well, we'll work on something for you, okay? The next one we had Keith, we had someone using a crash as a chance to not only migrate physically, but to migrate a frame of mind of the student and the training and the staff there. So you're seeing someone with two very different user demands, and seeing that they're both using these in different ways to migrate towards it. And if you guys go through Fairfield, absolutely check out this building. It's stunning what they've done with it. It's worth the trip if you guys are going back down or across at any time. It's really worth taking the trip out there to see what they've done. And last we saw Nick present, and really what he said, and he's already covered it very well, but he is, and his group is acting as much a curator of their content as you guys are curator of all content. So we have these multiple sieves coming through to make sure that at the end of the day, you guys get what is salient, what is affordable, what is discoverable, and all of this comes from each publisher. We are the ones who make sure that this is of quality. We hang our hat on that, as much as you guys do for your users. So it's just to see that we have very similar demands, just for different customers. All right, so again, thank you guys, and also thank you for you guys for coming. If you didn't, we'd be talking to ourselves, and it'd be like another work day for us. So thank you so much. All right, guys, to keep this moving, because we've got 17 minutes of tape, and I'm going to keep to it. Here's my contact right here. Here's Dan's contact information there. It's in your little wrist things. We expect you to wear them all the time now. So make sure that contact us for anything. And it's not just pricing. It's what we're trying to do, and what Bob Boise does as well as part of the team, is we're really trying to get past the point of us selling you content, and that's it. What we're finding out today as part of the conversation is it's not selling it. It's getting it so that it's usable, findable so that maybe you'll consider it next year. I mean, as reps, our job isn't to sell you something. It's to find the right level of content and to make sure that you're going to renew it the next year, to make sure that it makes sense for you. And part of that is the discoverability. An example that I'm going to use real quick is that Boston College, Sally Wyman couldn't make it today because she hurt her back a little bit. But we went, and she's fine. But what she did is she goes, man, we've got Primo. We're having a little bit of a discoverability. We'd like it a little bit better. We go, man, you know what? You're right. What could we do? We sat down with her. Bob went one-on-one, and she goes, wait a minute. Why don't we add table of contents data to the 505 section of the MARC records, what you mentioned real quick? We did that 3 weeks later. Now we have TOC in the 505 section. Boom. That's retroactive. It's going back for all of our titles. So your feedback is immediately, when possible, put into effort. So later, and Leon's going to get into this, these surveys matter. This is why we're doing different things. This is not just another ebook survey or summit. You guys build what we do. So thank you so much. All right. This is it. You don't have to read this. It's tiny, but this is what we do. This is the one. Mary, that's okay. Erica, by the way, I'm going to call you out in a minute, so be prepared. And someone else is going to get picked on in 2 minutes as well, okay? What?
I'm leaving at 1:45 to catch the train.
You're going to miss that train. So what we're going to do, all right, first things first, Springer's model was built by librarians, and that is not hyperbole. In 2005, we got our LAB members, our Library Advisory Board, and we said, what do we do? And they said, this is what we do. We make a print. We take the best of a print book. We turn it into an electronic book so that we can actually still collect or manage as it makes sense for us. The first thing is no digital rights management, period. When we saw the survey, when Steve and Deborah talked, it's not just online access. You can download it to a USB. You can put it on your computer. You can put it on your tablet. We actually have EPUB coming out for 11 and 12 books in a couple months. This means it's going to be built exactly for the iPad, exactly for that. We have a free Springer Link app that your users can authenticate through your Wi-Fi. So they can go through and access this the way they want it, and they don't have to worry about it disappearing because it's yours. We are Portico, we are locks, we are clocks compliant. When you buy it, it is yours forever. That's the thing. You put it on the e-shelf just like you put it on a print shelf. When you buy it, you're done. There are no seats. It's unlimited usage. It is not a Safari model. When you buy it, you have the rights to archive, lend, loan, so on and so forth, to everyone all at once. We talk about textbooks. Well, there it is. You find a Springer book, you put it in Blackboard or however they communicate, boom, every single person can use it at the same exact time. That's the thing. It's one copy that everyone can use. It does not check out. EPUB, to talk about, it's exactly what you want out of it. It shrinks, it makes nice look on the screen, the metadata's in it, it's more discoverable, we've got it. My copy. Now what this is, if you think about it, Springer has hung our hat on a number of things. One of it's math. And we say all these old misconceptions of we don't want print, but they do. So what we say is okay, you guys own the right to lend, archive, so on. What does the user want? Well, sometimes they want it in print. So what did we do? You guys paid for those rights, they pay for the paper. So for $24.95, any book, asterisk, is available to be owned in print. It's shipped to them. It's their credit card. Admin tools can turn it on and off if you want it. But this way, they can use it in the classroom. They can have it in their office, and they can do it that way. And if they want it, they can spend $24.95. That's a flat rate with shipping included, and the paper is sent to them. This is a service. It isn't a moneymaker. If you think about us with math, we had to get people who didn't want it, and now they are. And we saw with Deborah and Steve, they do. So this is just another one. The asterisk on that is it can't be over 1,200 pages because the glue breaks. It's black, it's black and white because it got too expensive. And we have a few, it's paperback to keep costs down. And we have a few key series. If you think it's a $6,000 book, we make that available for $24.95. That's going to be available for $4,500 in central India. So we had to make sure not to do that. Discoverability, every single chapter has a DOI. Period. This way, it's journalization of content. If you want it, you can get it, and this gets into the conversation that Mark said, and much more eloquently than in English, is that they need to get down, and we're slowly getting down to that as well, and we give full text metadata out to whoever can process it. We are compliant with all major link resolvers. Discoverability, ease, get it when you need it, fully indexed by Google, they're getting better. Free Springer and OCLC mark records, talked about the 505 section with table of contents data. This is just one little step. It keeps getting better. And we pay for OCLC mark records. When you buy from us, you get those for free. All right? Lastly, collection approach. We do sell by the collection model. And what that means is that there are no duplications. We break it down by copyright year and by subject. There is no way, if you buy through this model, that you can buy the same book twice. It was just one more thing, and that gets into the aggregator question and a lot of different ones that we had talked about today. This is our solution to that, right? Next one, we do not exclude anything. If you want an EREF, it's in there. If you want a textbook, it's in there. Monographs, key series, we exclude nothing from our collections. If you buy from us, you are getting the complete Springer library. This is not module XYZ. This is for your users, no matter how they want to use it and where they will. We already talked about portico locks and clocks. And we do have, when you buy the front file, this is the only hard pitch you're going to get of the day because we're going straight to something fun after this. There we go. Is that when you do buy the front, we do discount the back file as well. And this allows for that 18 years that people are going to use that content. Keep going back, and back, so that they see it. And as I'm sure we didn't talk about today, but people look for a critical mass of content. And this is where the eBrays and the EBLs and all those do a great job as an aggregator, getting a lot of different titles available. But if you think about the mass of Springer, we come out with almost 5,000 books a year in English. There's a critical mass there, and when you go back, you can have a subject area where you can say, wow, behavioral science is our smallest collection, and you pick up 500 books in behavioral science in one day, and it's discounted. That's it. I'm not going to answer any questions on this. I'm going to assume you got all of that. If you want, what we're going to do is we'll be at the bar afterwards. Okay? Erica, here we go. This is where we're going to guess what happened. Okay? We're going to look at this from the point of view. You're going to be a sales rep for a minute. Okay? You don't know all the data because we don't know all the data. We have a community college, actually a quite large community college at 12,000 people. Okay? And that's it. You know, no research. We're talking 2-year associate's degrees and so on. Let's just say it's a feeder program for a local university. Why would their usage go up? And if they bought September the prior year, no downloads from September of the prior year all the way through March. And if anyone else wants to kick in why they think this happened, feel free to yell it out. Do you have a hunch why this usage went up in March and wasn't used for almost 8 months prior?
You didn't activate them.
It was activated. We checked that one. I wouldn't put this slide up there if that wasn't it. Good guess, though. Okay, course, it didn't match what their courses have. Maybe we weren't relevant to them. Anything else? All right, actually in this case, what happened? They entered their mark records. Start at the basics. Is your computer plugged in? Yes. Check it first. Next step, next step, next step. Get your mark records in there. It's immediately there. A community college having 400 downloads a month? That's nice. That's really nice, okay? So that's just one example. Get your mark records in there. I'm showing you this because it matters, okay? A different school, actually I got the right to say this, UNLV went from 6,000 downloads a month to about 12,000 downloads a month in one time. Just because of doing that, they had someone retire who was enriching the mark records, but not loading them. So just make sure that you check, just cross that last T, okay? All right, next one. Now we've got a different one. If anyone wants to raise their hand, get in here. This is an ARL, FTE 30,000. They've been purchasing books since 2009. Around going back, it's been flatlining. Well, not really. It's been going up, about 6-7% a year in terms of usage increases. Why would they have this weird kind of trough in the middle of everything going? Do you have any idea why you'd have a trough? And now journals keep going up. Journals is going up like this. Ebooks have been going up like this. No. Why would that happen? That's another good idea. Maybe they're like, you know what, Springer, this is just back file usage. Maybe it's just back file usage because they didn't renew. That's actually a good idea. Any others? Eh?
The iPad?
iPad. Now, we didn't have a Springer Link app when this came out. Maybe that was one of the issues, is they were looking for it a different way. They couldn't find it. Actually, what happened is they changed their OPAC to a copyright resort instead of by a relevancy sort. They rebuilt the system, and yeah. They changed it so that only the newest content went to the top. They weren't finding what they needed. They were doing keywords, and sometimes the key stuff you want didn't come out that day. Books don't matter as much as copyright. We're seeing older titles used every single day than you're seeing with journals. The tail usage on it is almost a light linear drop compared to what you see with journal decreases in usage. So these are the little things that when you implement, and this is where Bob Boise and what we do, we're trying to support what we sell. So if you have issues and you say, man, this doesn't match up, maybe we can get our fingers in it and maybe we can help you. The school here, someone went, oh yeah, that's what we did. Duh. Boom. That was literally, we met with them on October. That's the usage in November. That was 1 month's change. All right? All right, last one. Large school, 20,000 downloads a month. Boom, 120,000 downloads a month. What would happen? This isn't you guys.
I was about to say.
No, it wasn't you guys.
Experience.
Yeah, no. Why would this happen for a very large school?
Somebody gave away their password.
All right, password was put on a blog somewhere, or a student lost their password, What else? Anything else could cause this?
Hackers.
All right, hackers, bots, all those things. Yeah, we went through the same thing. Yeah, we checked that one out. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. The usage was totally normal. The downloads were at interspersed rate. It was across a number of books. We had one book. The top used book you'd think would get a ton of them was only 600 that month. They just went deep. Nothing happened. They just happened to have research that matched up. It blew our minds, actually. That was really hard for me to actually get around on that. So sometimes you get spikes. There aren't many schools like this. Actually, there's no NDA. This is MIT. This is MIT's usage. So there we are. So just keep in mind that there's no such thing as normal usage. I mean, this right here is about as normal as it gets. But at the same time, little things matter a lot. Implement. I mean, we're getting better at supporting it. Take advantage of us when you do. And we really do want to help. All right? That's it for slides. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much again for coming. Thank you for everyone for being involved. And drinks.